Hi guys, and welcome to the first video of Jordan's Reviews.
Maybe you'd like to go for a whirl!
So, this review is about this guy, which is Warbotron's Whirlwind, who is their homage to the Combaticon Vortex. And straight out of the box, the delivery box, I got in an additional packet was these, which looks like which is a screwdriver and some parts for airburst. Now I heard that there were some quality control issues with the original airburst stream, and I'm quite new to collecting, so I've only really just started collecting from before Christmas, so the airburst that I picked up happened to be the second wave, so I had no QC issues with that at all. But it's really cool that Warbotron have actually put this stuff in the box to give to customers, and that really does say a lot. I mean, says a lot about the company, because you know, you can tell that they really care about customer satisfaction. And actually, I know that they're quite a new company and this is their first line, but I'm actually starting to feel that you know, they're going to be one that you can trust. And I'm not paid by anyone to say that, I'm not sponsored by anyone, this is my first video, it's just me from my perspective. That's what they've done. But I've also heard that the tank Heavy Noisy, his wrist or his arms are quite tight and you need a screwdriver to loosen those up. So now I can use this screwdriver to loosen up his forearm when I start to transform him. Now I've got those other figures already, but I'm not going to bother to review them because there's tons of videos out there already. So that's this done, out of the way. So this is the box. Comes in standard Warbotron box, really nice. You got your shot of you got your negative view of Whirlwind there, with Warbotron behind. It says Warbotron there, and you've got your part here for the image that you can all put those together. So actually, let's take a look at what that looks like. So if I grab out the others, got Heavy Noisy's box. We've got Airburst's box, Sly Strike, and now Whirlwind. And this is getting huge. So if I pull the camera back, you can see just how that's shaping up, and what I imagine is the last one that's going to come when they're not onslaught is going to go right across the top, probably like a rectangle, so we can fill in the rest of that gap. So there's that there, and let's get that out of the way. So here's the box, let's get it open. So this is the back of the box, hope you can see that. You've got Whirlwind, you've got a picture of him in his robot mode, you've got a picture of him in his alt mode, all the contact details down there for Warbotron. Nice picture of a planet there. And this is the front of the guy, and I think this is one of my favourite boxes out of the set so far. I really like the colour scheme in there. You can see him there in the window, and he is D in the Warbotron 01 set. His rank, Sergeant, Marshal, Master, the RM'd forces of Warbotron, which is like down here. I see that they still haven't got the spelling 100% correct, but do you know what? I really don't mind, and I'm really hoping that there's another version of that comic in here, because I really need to catch up with Megan and what's going on with her. And I actually really don't mind the broken English. Actually, I think it's I just really like it. I must be sad, I must be the only one out there, but I really like it. So let's get the box open and have a look at what's inside. Oops. So, oops. Let's open. I'm praying for a comic, I really am. So let's have a look. Let's get that in there. So there he is. Oh, and if you look, it looks like there's some loose parts there, like his gun. If you can see that on the screen, his weapon there is loose in the packet. So if I shake that around, don't know if you can see it, I hope you can. If I zoom in a bit, just here where his head would be, his gun is sort of just there, hanging over his face. So that wasn't quite tied in properly into the packet. But I can see that we don't get a comic, which is a shame, which is a really bad shame, but never mind. Got the instructions there, which we'll come to in a minute. A packet of something here. I'm sure that has its use. This comes with its original clamshell, and you can see there's bits here already just hanging out in the box, which should, I imagine, should be in these bits here, but they're all in there loose. And if you can see what I was talking about, the parts there are all rattling around in the packet, and you know, it's like they've just put it on his back there like that. So right out of the box, I need a pair of scissors. Let's just tear that off. This is the figure, and once again, that light piping, it's really amazing. Look at that, really cool. So let's just put him down there for a split second. So welcome back guys to my review. Had some time to mess around with Whirlwind, and I gotta say I really do like this figure. Warbotron have really made a really good product here, and kind of makes me happy actually that I did come quite late to the whole party of collecting figures, because I'd have probably got that other third party Bruticus, and he's just a bit too small, and I actually quite like this new scale. So just before we get into the robot, let's have a look at the accessories that it comes with. As usual, you get a nice collector's card made of the same material as the others. So if you've got the other Warbotron figures, you know what I'm talking about. Really nice, sturdy, thick card. Over there, you get your classic Warbotron instructions, which are really cool. And in terms of accessories, well, he comes with this shoulder cannon here that you see on him, but he also comes with his helicopter propellers, which also double up as katana blades, if that's focusing. Katana blades, which is really cool. So you get 4 of these. So you get 4 of these to stick into his back. You get a second shoulder cannon, which also doubles up as a wrist cannon, and I'll show you how that works as well. You get the front of the helicopter, which also doubles up as, I suppose, a little mini gun for him to hold, which is pretty cool. And you also get these two plastic things here, which at first I couldn't work out what the hell I was supposed to do with these, but I looked at some pre-release product shots on the internet, and I can see what role they play, and I'll show you that when we get into the review. So that's accessories aside, let's have a look at this guy. And you know, straight off the bat, what's popping out at me is his orange eyes, this orange canopy. It's really cool. The light piping in his head, I showed you that in the other video, earlier in the video, is really amazing, and it's really glowing in front of me. I don't know how well that's coming out on camera, but it is really standing out for me. Just looking at him from the side, that's a little side preview of him there. And on his back, you can see, cleans up really well. I mean, you've got the propeller part where you stick the blades in here on the top, which obviously needs to be there, but if you look at like how his back is, it's really slimlined, and there's not like a whole lot of junk just sort of like hanging off of him. It's really smooth, and I like the way they've done it. Also, this bit spins, which means the propellers spin, which is excellent. Coming down here to his rear propeller, when I actually got it out of the box, it was actually on that leg, and that's actually the wrong leg for it to be on. So you can just pop it out and just swap them over. It's no problem. You're not going to damage the figure, but make sure that that is on his right leg there, and then when it comes to the transformation, which I'll show you, you'll see that it's actually on the right side. So just sort of like looking at how his accessories all sort of like attach, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach 2 of these to the back, and I'm going to use the other 2 as a demonstration for the other feature. But one tiny little thing, and this is the only QC issue I've really had with this figure so far, is I don't know how well this is going to come out on here, but if I'm too close, but right here there is a real sort of like a stress mark on the I don't think it's really going to focus that well. There's a real stress mark right here on it, but it's really tiny. Just a little bit of plastic has sort of like come off of there, but yeah, that's the only real issue. But everything else seems to me so far seems to work really well. So what you do to attach the blades is you hold them in and you put them into the part there, and you push it right the way in. You need to get it, you can just twist it so it sort of screws in, which is really cool. And you want to make sure it gets in as close to the edge as possible, so there's no sort of like blue gap there, because what's going to happen is when the propeller spins, when you want it to spin, if it's too long sticking out, it'll bump into this Whirlwind part here. So I'm just going to put 2 of these on here, 1 to save time and 2 so I can show off the other feature. Push that in and just pull that in, so you know that's in there like that. These shoulder cannons come with a little port here on the side, which you can use to plug into the side here on his shoulder, and that sort of holds in there, and he can do the range. I mean, it does sort of like raise up a little bit on there, but it's not too bad. It's just sort of like that. That's fine for me anyway. The next port, what you can do with this is you see how you've got the handle there. And you want to do is try and get, they've made like little grooves here which you can get to if you've got long nails to pull it out, but I don't have very long nails, so I can't. So I'm just using this pen lid to just sort of prise that part open like that, and you can plug that in there on his arm, and now he's got like a little shoulder cannon right there. So that looks pretty cool to me. Really excellent. I like the way he's sort of holding it like that. There are some pictures of him actually holding this in his hand, but to be honest, I can't seem to get him to hold it properly. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe someone with a bit more transformation experience than me can work out how he's supposed to hold that. But if you can see that the handle here is not quite long enough for it to sit along there and for it to slot down in his hand, which is a bit of a shame. And if it's there like that, he's not gripping it properly. So yeah, see, he's just not gripping it properly. So I prefer it actually to be mounted here on the arm. I think that looks really cool like that. The next thing, what you can do also, he holds his katana blades really well in his hands. I'll show you that. Let me just take this bit off. Open up his hands like this. You can get the blades. You can, oops, hold that there like that. You can see there, like there in his hand, he's really holding that really well. His other one, get that in his hand. You can see there, and you can actually get this guy into some really cool poses. Let me just pull that back a bit like that, so you know you can really see how that sort of works there, sort of like that. That's really, really cool. Also, what you can do is if you take his swords out of his hands, you can get one of these. You actually get two in the packet, and what you can do is push the sword in, and then push the other one in. Oops. Things clicking there, and then you can stick it on his arm, and you can have it sort of like, you know, a blade that's protecting him. Whoops. You can have it sort of like a blade that, I'm going to put that to one side. You can have it sort of like a blade that's protecting him on his arm. I'll probably put these the wrong way around. Twist it like that, probably a bit better. Pop that in, and like I say, it comes with, can you see that there, like that? Does it spin? It turns a little bit. It's not going to spin like the back part, but you know what I mean, it's just there on his arm, and he can have, and as he's got two of them, you can plug them in on both sides, and you can have him sort of like got like protecting blades while he's doing whatever mission he's doing. So, and that's those features. The last one that he comes with is like, I guess this would be sort of like a turret, sort of like minigun, which is also on the front of the helicopter, and you can plug that into his arm. He holds it quite well. He actually feels like he's holding it quite loose, but actually he does have quite a good grip on it. So he's there like that. You can adjust the leg spurts to, if it messes up his balance, you can adjust his legs. He stands really, really well, so that he can hold it. And you know, if I zoom out a little bit, I'm showing you too much of my background, you can see he's holding that really, really well. There, holding it there from the side, there, like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for like robot mode in terms of like accessories and stuff. Yesterday I got him into some really good poses. He really sort of like can pretty much balance. He didn't have all the stuff on his back though, so I didn't test it with that, but you can see he can, well, he was doing it off camera, sod's law, come to camera, and he's not doing it now, but maybe it's because he's got all the stuff on his back and that. But yeah, really, really cool. Really am liking this figure, and he just looks really good when he stood next to you know, he's really, when he stood next to his other Warbotron brothers, which is really cool. Let's go over articulation. I'm just going to take these extra bits off so that you can really look at it. His head is on a ball joint. You can really twist it all the way around. There's no problem there. It looks up a little bit. Doesn't really look down so well, but you know, you can angle his head to the side really well. You can get him in some really nice poses. Shoulders, do a 360. It's no problem. You can pull them out to the side. You get bicep, I think they call that bicep swivel, wrist swivel. The fingers fall glued together in a separate thumb, which is quite cool. Same on the other side, 360 on that, twist, bicep swivel, twist on the wrist. There is you get quite a high pose there with the kick for his leg. The top part of his thigh is on a ratchet, you can hear it click. Good knee bend. You can get your 90 degrees at the back, which is pretty cool. The front, which is also going to be the same on the other leg. You've got these things here that help him with the balance. These heel spurs, which are really cool. I think when you get them out the box, these are flipped up, so you just pull them down and then he can sort of stand. ankle pivots, yeah, and the shin pivots, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and yeah, like I say, I'm really liking this figure. Really think he's fantastic. I don't really know what else to say pretty much for robot mode, so let's get this guy transformed and see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop these out just for ease. The transformation. So when you come in to transform this guy, what you want to do is have him sort of standing like this. I'm going to get his legs together. Yep, so we get his legs together when we transform him, which is pretty cool. Then what you want to do is over here by his arms, you want to flick this bit down so that that part's hanging down. These hinges feel really stiff, but they're alright actually. They do fold out quite easily, which is pretty cool. So you've got these parts here sticking out on here, and then what you want to do is you want to lift this front part here so that that part is up like that. And then what you're going to notice is that his back needs to get up onto his shoulders, yeah, like that basically. So it needs to come up from off his back and across to his shoulder. So you do that by lifting that bit up, and then you can sort of grab here, oops, and unpeg that, pull it back a bit, and then you can rise it up and get it up over his head. Oops, not quite right. So that, and then what you want to do is you want to look for these two parts here to get into that gap. So once that's done like that, you know that that's done and in the right place, yeah. The next thing you want to do is pull out his body and get that up into a helicopter, so he's lying now on a vertical basis like that, which is pretty cool. You can start to see, like, you know, how it's gonna shape up. You can pull these parts and get them sort of clear and out of the way like that. You've got his legs all together, and these parts here sort of come down, they fold down like that. Ooh. Ooh. Next, what you want to do is, and this part I thought was really cool, is, and I didn't even realise it was like that, you can pull this bit up and push this up here into place. Get this side, pull that up into place, and these two bits here you can see are going to knock right into there. That's clipped down there. You can start to see already how this is forming up. You can twist the back of the aeroplane, the helicopter, and get that sort of, I think I mistransformed it in a step, you know, because that part there has just come back undone, that middle bit. But you basically want these two bits here, you can see, to meet in the middle. But now that that's like that, you can, oops, you can clip those back into place. Those two bits there lock into place, that comes down, and hey presto, we've got the back sorted out. So now the front, what we do with the arms is, oh, this part always confuses me, we can fold up his hands into here. And what's really nice is, I know that with some of the previous figures you had to twist the arms a certain way to get them, so that it would be easier for you to get them out. With this, there's no such thing. You can easily grip and pull it back out to reveal it, which I thought was a really nice improvement. So you can see that this company is really working on sort of like keeping like listening to the feedback and really refining their products until, you know, they're released. So his arm, I think, folds. Oh, hang on 1 second. Let me have a quick look. So you get the arms like that. You fold it back like that, and then you bend it round like that, and that's how it looks in helicopter mode, like that. So this part here is supposed to be folded up to hide his arms, and oops, no, it's wrong. What have you done? That's like that. That's like that. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Exactly like that. Sorry folks. So that's there like that, and you've got that like that. So that's pretty much the front part here. And then what you do is you get your turret, your turret, and this part needs to, and this doesn't show you in the instructions what you're supposed to do, so I was a little bit stumped at first, but you fold that round. Yep, you fold that round like that. You've got that part there sticking up, which is going to go into that gap there, and then you just clip that in like that, and you can see we're starting to shape up. We can get our blades, put those in there. Remember what I said, right to the tip, grab that, stick that in there, right to the tip, pull these guys apart, stick those in there, right to the tip. I prefer to have all my blades going in the same direction. Put that in there like that, and he's got a little landing gear, which if you pull it straight down like that, he's not going to stand up properly, so you need to pull that, just have it that at a little bit of an angle there, pull these bits down like that, and there you've got your chopper. And what you can do is pull these turret bits out, stick your guns on here if you want, or you can keep them, as some of the pictures I've seen have kept them on the shoulder part, so you can sort of attach those there. Oh, I've got this one in the wrong one if I'm going to try and display both for you, but I'm going to do one on here so you can see what that looks like. And you can do, and I'm going to do one here so you can see what that looks like. And yeah, this is the helicopter mode. It's really cool. It's nice in length. It sits on there, rolls quite well, as you can see, rolls really well. So there's quite a lot of weight to it actually, compared to like how he feels in robot mode. But you know, really, once again, I think a really cool figure. So here we have Whirlwind next to his buddy Heavy Noisy, which is the homage to G1 Brawl, and as you can see, side by side they look pretty cool. I think in terms of scale, perhaps a military helicopter and a tank, that's probably the right scale for each other. But you know, I do understand that you know, obviously to get all the limbs and the shins and all that all the same size, some of them, like I know him and the Hummer, obviously they're not going to be in scale to how they would be in real life, because obviously the toy needs to be able to be balanced out. But I think in terms of a military helicopter and a tank, I think that's looking like that's about right. Maybe some people who would know might know if that's the right scale or if they agree, but I think, you know, all in all they look really good together. And these guys, you know, I was always thinking like I'd display them, you know, just in their giant Gestalt mode, but I wouldn't mind displaying them in vehicle mode, and I sure as hell wouldn't mind displaying them in robot mode. I think they shape up and they look really good, really good together. And if I zoom out a little bit there, you can see sort of like how they line up, and the oranges are really popping, especially under this light. Right, so that's the sort of like size comparison between one of his other Warbotron buddies. I haven't got like the others transformed, so I just thought one would be enough just to give you sort of like a flavour as what that looks like. But I will get them all in robot mode, standing side by side for you to get by the end of the video. Alright, so let's get this guy, let's get him out of here, and let's get this guy into arm mode for you so you can see what that looks like. And that's a really simple transformation. So to get this guy into robot mode, the arm mode for his Gestalt mode, I find it easier just to take off the accessories and you can reapply them a little bit later. So let's get these out of here, just so that we've got a bit of room for this transformation. So take these off. What you want to do is you want to come back here, you want to flip these bits up, and you want to separate this back part here. So we've got these guys here like that, and then you want to twist this back part around so that's there like that. So very simple the way you turn these guys into their limb modes, which I really like. So simple transformations are a win over here. So we pop these, so get this out of the way, and we'll pop these bits down. And the instructions say you can twist this part here so that this part here folds down, but I remember that just getting in the way, so I just fold that down flat like that, pull this bit down here like that, so that's there like that. And then what you can do is just tuck these up, tuck these up and out of the way. Yeah, so once we've got that part there out of the way, what you want to do is you probably want to just lift up this landing gear to get that out of the way, pull down this ratchet here, or this joint here, which is probably going to plug straight into his shoulder. So we've got an arm. You want to twist his body, you want to work out where the knees are, where they're going to bend, and you want to twist his waist, and that's where the arm would bend. This part here would split apart, and that's where the hand would go when we get him, which is going to come with the last figure, as they mainly do that sort of thing. And that is what his arm is going to look like. Putting that, sorry, tuck that away just to make that a little bit neat, but that's what his arm's going to look like. Now I can tell already this is going to be a huge figure. If I line this up with my ruler and I put that there like that, the top of his cannon is coming in at a tad over 9.5 inches. So you can see that's just his arm, 9.5 inches. This guy is going to be big. And I think his Gestalt mode is really going to scale well with a masterpiece, but I just don't think that the robot modes really do. So I'm going to get this guy back into robot mode, do some size comparisons, and some final thoughts and reviews, and yeah, we can get out of here. Alright. So to get this guy from limb mode back into robot mode, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this bit straight up. We're going to take this barrel part off, and we're going to twist his body back around. We're going to open up his legs there, which has got the feet pretty much standing in the right place. And then what we're going to do is we are going to pull his arms, his shoulders down, and we're going to get ready to lift this whole part up so it comes back around onto his chest. So we do that by grabbing the back here, unpegging that, so his whole chest part comes up. So what happens is I've lifted it up from here and here, here and here, and pulled that straight up there. So we can see already he's coming back to how he looked when he came out the box. This part here, if you remember, clips back, so we need that to slot back down onto his back, and there's a hinge here which pulls out, and we can get that back into place, and that part back down there. His front part comes back down, which is really cool. Straight there. That's there like that. That's there. That part tucks down. That twists. That tucks down. You can open up his flap here to get his arm out. Like that. Flip that bit out here. Twist that. Flop that bit down. And booyah! Our guy's back in robot mode. Right, so I'm going to get his buddies out here. So we can see sort of like how they stack sort of side by side. Oh, they just look so good together, and I'm hoping it really comes out well in camera to really show you just how awesome this squad is shaping up. But they do look fantastic together. I'm just gonna give this guy some of his accessories so he doesn't look naked next to everyone else. But yeah, really happy with this figure. I think he's like, it just seems to go from strength to strength in my opinion between these figures. Airburst, when as soon as I got him I loved him straight away, and then I got the other two pretty much straight away, so I didn't really get that time to spend, you know, a couple of months with each figure on their own as the new releases came out. So I've spent time with all of them individually, and I love them all. There isn't one of them that I do not like. So, and this is just like, you know, just been like amazing to just build this up and just have this like this. And I really think Warbotron are a company to kind of watch. I know that their next figure is going to be Computron, who's not really a character that I sort of like really recognise and identify with, but I've heard rumours that they're going to be doing a Menasor, and if they are, I'm really going to hold out for that, because I like this size, I like this scale, and I think it's the way forward, especially in terms of guest alts, and especially if you want to stand them next to your guest alts, next to your masterpieces. I think they would scale really, really well. And you know, there is rumours that these guys are masterpiece scale. I kind of disagree in robot mode. This is MP10, and as you can see, he's so big, he's coming out of shot. So there's MP10 there, and he, you know, towers over all of these guys. Usually I've seen like a lot of reviewers doing side by sides when it comes to like size comparisons, but when I was at school they told us the best way to do that to stand guys back to back, which no one else really seems to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So standing these guys back to back, he's probably head height of with some of the smaller car masterpieces, such as you know, your wheel jacks and your side swipes and stuff like that. But I always thought Vortex and Brawl and the rest of them would be almost as tall as Optimus, maybe the same height. I know Onslaught is definitely supposed to be bigger than Optimus Prime. So in this mode here, I wouldn't say that they would scale in robot mode with masterpieces, seeing that masterpieces are all centered around this guy in terms of scale and how they look and stuff. So I would say they're not quite masterpiece, but when you get them together in a guest alt, that could stand with them. But I'll tell you who they do scale really well with, and it's not this guy, but it's this guy. I think they scale really, really well with Mania King, and there is no reason why they can't be on the same shelf together with all of them, sort of, you know. And I think this is what they call a Voyager size, or because it's bigger than a Deluxe. So, and I think Voyager is the next one up. Let's get him sort of like here. So yeah, that's been sort of like my review of this guy. And yeah, you can see here how all four of them look really good together. I kind of wish I had this guy transformed now, but anyway, yeah, you can see here how all these guys sort of like scale together and how they look. And yeah, I'm just really keen to like complete the collection now. Final thoughts on Vortex. I haven't got a fault for him, and that is the God honest truth. So far, you know, I've only had him a short time, but I have not got one single complaint. The only thing was there was a little bit of plastic that was chipped off, but that's like on the handle of one of the blades, and it's like you're never really going to see it. I mean, when I open the packet, I don't know if this is focusing, but when I open the packet, it's like there was like little strips of that sort of like on there, and that's clearly come from like the sword and stuff. But apart from that, and that is just so minor, I can forgive that. Apart from that, this is just an awesome figure. You can get him into some really cool sort of like poses. He says, not being able to get him into anything cool at the moment, but he, for those of you that are really like into your poses and like quite experienced with that, you can get him into some really cool poses. You can get him looking really good. So yeah, so that's it for my review. I think this has gone on really long. I'm really sorry about that. It's my first review, so hopefully I'll get better at it, and your videos will be a lot shorter. But I really hope you've enjoyed it, and you found it informative, and it's helped you decide whether you're going to get this guy or not. If you've got the others, each of these guys, I think, as a standalone figure, can stand on their own. You don't have to get the whole set, but if you're into the whole combined mode and the whole Gestalt stuff, just get them, man. They're just really good. This guy, I got him for about £60, and I know some of my friends who don't really understand my obsession with collection would think, wow, that's a lot of money to spend on a toy, but to me it was worth it, and it's definitely been one of the best products, both third party and official lined, that I've actually brought, and that I'm just really happy with straight out the box, straight with messing with him. I know I can mess with him for a little while, and I know he's not going to really deteriorate. I don't really feel as he's going to break on me or anything like that. So yeah, that's been Warbotron's WB01D Whirlwind. I'm Jordan, and stay tuned for more reviews as and when I get more figures. Thanks a lot. Bye. So that's been my review video for the new Warbotron release Whirlwind. He's a great figure, and I really do recommend him. Please comment, rate and subscribe if you like this video. I'm really keen to get some constructive feedback on how I can improve them. So please leave some useful comments down below, and just let me know overall what you think. Yeah, and I'll get another video uploaded and sent out to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.